It's with those throws that two Milton High School students would learn about how plastic garbage moves through our waterways. What they tossed into the Credit River, Grand River, and Bronte Creek were bottles with GPS tracking devices. Over the course of 3 months, they would follow the progress of the bottles downstream to understand where they'd get caught and for how long.
And the goal was here to kind of understand how these plastics travel based on the spring melt. Simply because what we noticed was that high concentrations of plastic can oftentimes accumulate within the snow and ice. They can freeze, and then when when the thaw cycle occurs, they can consequently be dislodged.
What they found is that with 3 bottles in each waterway, on average, in the Grand River, the bottles traveled 17 kilometers and became stuck 12 times. In the Credit River, the bottles traveled 19 kilometers and became stuck 8 times. And in Bronte Creek, the bottles traveled 11 kilometers and also became stuck 8 times. Manika and his project partner, Suraj Subramanian, would get help from the Wellington Water Watchers, who visited locations to verify what the data suggested, and the University of New Hampshire to match the GPS data with weather events. That helped them understand one reason why a bottle may have become stuck or unstuck.
What we found surprising was that there's actually a really low likelihood that it actually enters Lake Ontario within a short amount of time. Rather, it may take several months or even a couple years actually for the bottle to travel to Lake Ontario, even if it's, say, a short distance, about, say, 14 or 20 kilometers, just because these bottles can become stuck and unstuck so frequently.
The Toronto shoreline of Lake Ontario has been the subject of a similar study, which is where both students got their inspiration. The trash team, who work out of the University of Toronto, conducted their own study along the Don River and have been tackling this problem in the harbor since 2017, in part by installing sea bins, which draw water in and collect garbage that comes with it. Now, happy to know that the work is inspiring more students.
We see it in our classroom visits or we have hackathons on plastic pollution, and students come to us with their ideas, and it's great that they're starting to think about more of the plastic life cycle and questioning how plastic is formed, where it comes from, and where it goes afterwards.
It's an important task because the plastics that get into the lake can take around 100 years to break down, according to Ungu Faiz. Along the way, creating microplastics, which in turn can harm wildlife and potentially human health. The list of garbage the students found in all 3 waterways is quite varied.
In these hotspots, we had all types of plastics, from car tires to baby lotion bottles, to water bottles, to cans, to plastic caps, to plastic straws. We had everything.
Now that the project is complete, they've shared the information with municipalities and conservation organizations so they can take action and prevent the plastic waste from getting into Lake Ontario. The students are also working with the U of T to get the study published. Jason Trout for Halton News in Milton.